Mariella Scalise. Join us Monday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time as we get you ready for your day with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast.
I think it's suffice to say we're going to be booked and busy with tropical troubles in the Atlantic. We'll have your AccuWeather iPath. We'll talk about who gets the heavy rain, who will not get it. And it's a very complicated forecast.
We'll see you Monday morning, 6 a.m. to noon, right here on AccuWeather Early. Forecast, so let's dive right on in, and we'll start with Umberto, major hurricane as it continues to move its way through the Atlantic, and it is going to find its curve around the high. It's a major hurricane, it's well established, so we know that forecast pretty well because of the interaction with the rest of the atmosphere, and it'll find its way cooler waters to the north where it'll weaken. Keep in mind that west of Bermuda is where it's headed, so while this won't be a player for the U.S. and the mainland there, we will be talking about Bermuda getting at least tropical storm wind gust, plus we'll also be talking about 1 to 2 inches of rain there, which Bermuda can usually use. As we talk about the other player, yes, there's a whole nother tropical system we have to cover. We've been covering this for days as a tropical rainstorm, so it's still working its way through the Bahamas with some heavy rainfall. But as this tropical system unfolds here, it's really the weaker of the two in the Atlantic, and look at how close these storms are together. Now, this is just one model rendition, so take it with a grain of salt, but you can identify how close these storms are. There could be some interaction between the two of them. The other thing is there's still a trough lingering over the southeastern U.S. that's going to try to have some pull on it. All in all, the storm gets slowed down, and that's a problem, because as it ventures towards the coast, it has the potential to dump quite a bit of rainfall. So that's going to be the big concern, even as it strengthens to a hurricane here and then it slowly drifts in. But notice how this eye path is pulled out to the side. That's the questionable part of how much Umberto is going to pull on this storm system, because it is the stronger of the two, so it'll try to pull it to the east. But all in all, we are expecting some wind gusts along the Carolina coast, 60 to 80 mile-per-hour wind gusts. The big story, though, will be the rain. There could be a foot of rain in the Carolinas.
Now, the forecast from around the country.
I want to take a look back at Hurricane Helene. This was a year ago as we've gone through this weekend, and you can see how this was a rapidly intensifying storm and stayed a hurricane into northern Georgia because it was moving so fast northward. Even though it was a tropical storm in western North Carolina, it still produced hurricane force wind gust. So there were some huge challenges there. All in all, dumping more than 2.5 feet of rainfall in some of the North Carolina mountains. We had wind gusts of more than 100 miles per hour. Keep in mind that there was 10-foot storm surge in Florida as this came ashore. That storm surge forced at least 100, more than that I should say, water rescues. So some big challenges there. And one of the things that will also be remembered, 4.8 million power outages. That was across 10 states, among the hardest hit South Carolina and Georgia. Now, the preliminary estimate for damage, it's going to be a stifling one here for Helene. Well, we continue to watch the southeastern U.S. because, yes, the rain is still holding on as we look across the southeast for your Sunday. It's not even the tropical setup yet. We are still talking about this low pressure system that's kind of been hanging out and will be a contender in the path of those tropical systems as we go through the weekend. Here's a look at what we've got for your Sunday. The showers, thunderstorms remaining. Roanoke, Virginia Beach, Charlotte, all wet. Charleston, Myrtle Beach, still wet. Wilmington and Jacksonville, as well as Tampa, dealing with showers and thunderstorms. If you're west of that, there's much drier, brighter weather to contend with. In fact, we go close to 90 in Montgomery and New Orleans as we keep the sunshine holding on there. So really, it's an eastern divide. And if you're towards the Atlantic coastline, this is where you have a better shot of finding that chance of rain as we move through your Sunday. The showers, thunderstorms, just kind of skirting along the coast as this low does provide enough sprinkle activity over some of the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. South, though, you can see the showers, thunderstorms kind of picking up and intensifying as tropical moisture surges north here, and that will continue to create the chance for rainfall as we head into Monday. Take a look at Monday. Jacksonville, pretty wet. Charleston, very wet. We're still talking about the rain advancing. Some of this, that leftover low pressure system allowing for thunderstorms in places like Roanoke and Virginia Beach. So it is going to be wet for some of these spots, or at least a chance of rain as we go through the days to come. Whether if you're off towards the west, though, we could probably use a little bit of rain. We're just not going to see it dry along the southern Mississippi River Valley into the southern plains. The East Coast will have some challenges because of all of the setup here with rough surf, strong rip currents. We could see flooding occur again on the Outer Banks. If you're in Myrtle Beach, it's a wet go of the week right through Friday with the showers persisting.
Here is your national exclusive AccuWeather forecast. The exclusive AccuWeather forecast for the Northeast. The exclusive AccuWeather forecast for the Great Lakes. The exclusive AccuWeather forecast for the Mid-Atlantic. Here is your national exclusive AccuWeather forecast. the exclusive AccuWeather forecast for South Central.
Now, the forecast from around the country.
been pretty dry across the Northeast, and the drought monitor, well, it hasn't changed too much. We've at least kept it from rapidly expanding with the recent rains, but you can see still a lot of extreme drought there across New England, West Virginia, getting into the Ohio Valley. So we could use a bit more of it. The answer, though, is not Sunday. Dry, bright. Detroit, 81 for the high. We go to 87 in Louisville. And a brighter day, too, for cities like Boston, New York City, even Washington, D.C. should stay largely dry and look at some of that bright weather coming in. However, areas like Virginia Beach, there's still going to be that coastal moisture hanging out for us. Elsewhere across the nation, the story has been dry, little to no rainfall here across the central U.S. It does mean that the drought worsens, unfortunately, which for the Mississippi River, since a lot of that contributes through the Ohio, can be challenging. But St. Louis, 88 for your high with sunshine. We go to 87 in Dallas, which is pretty typical. A warm day in Chicago for the close of the last weekend of September as we hold on to 80 degrees there. Let's take you to the western U.S. though, because believe it or not, this is where a lot of the action has been. The showers and thunderstorms continuing. It was a wet go of things across Southern California for Saturday, and the moisture still feeds into states like Arizona as we head through Sunday. Even New Mexico dealing with some showers and thunderstorms. Albuquerque, you can see 70 degrees for that high. Las Vegas, the chance for rain persisting, and Phoenix going to 90 with a few thunderstorms. Northward, a quiet break here in the northwest. That's not going to hold, though, all that long because there's a whole new storm system coming in. This one cool and wet. We'll be talking about rounds of rain likely, and times some very heavy rain that could transition towards the Oregon coast as we go throughout the week. So it could be a bit of a soaker for a few locations. Medford, you can see those wet days lining up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday there with the chance for rain persisting and temperatures in the 60s and 70s.
The exclusive AccuWeather forecast for North Central. The exclusive AccuWeather forecast for the Northwest. the exclusive AccuWeather forecast for the Southwest.
And I'm Ariella Scalise. Join us Monday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time as we get you ready for your day with